Hi, Reading 100 students. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope everything is going well with you. I feel a little bit better. I feel like I could actually record a video and share it with you guys. Don't worry about deadlines. I have extended. So the purpose of this Reading 100 video is to introduce you to the term project. And the project for the term is to do a presentation. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you, and please ignore the sounds of the birds in the background. I've got birds and they're making a lot of noise. So if you hear them, please ignore them. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen right now. So for Reading 100 as the term project, you are going to do an academic presentation. Okay, and you're wondering, what does that presentation include? Well, there are 4 steps in this presentation. 1, you have to choose a research. 2, you explain why you chose it. 3, you're going to annotate the article. And 4, you're going to build your presentation. Okay? It's not that hard. So I'm going to walk you through it. And you're asking yourself, oh my God, what does she mean? Where do I start? Well, step 1, you're going to choose a research paper. I would suggest you choose a research paper that closely aligns with the degree program you're currently studying with, because that will stimulate your motivation and will develop interest and also inform your degree program, whether this is what you want to do or not. Okay? So step 1, you're going to choose a research paper. Now, what does that mean? Where to find the research paper? You're going to find a research paper in JSTOR. There is a password for you I have on here. It needs to be peer-reviewed journals, okay? Or you can go to ProQuest. There is the login and the password for you. And there is Google Scholar, which is the easiest one. To be honest with you, it's the easiest one. And you can find tons of research. Right. Now, when you ask yourself research paper, look at what we studied in weeks 7 and 8. We did the whole idea of what is a research paper. It is a paper that has an abstract, it has an introduction, it has methods, results, discussion, and conclusion. Okay? And a research paper, as we said, it focuses on a question, a hypothesis, something it's proving or disproving. And it can cover any study. That means from engineering all the way to social sciences. It needs to align with your degree program. So if you're in social sciences, you probably want to find a research paper within that field. Okay. If you are in dentistry, you want to find a research paper in that field. And it can cover anything as long as it follows a research paper structure. We did this. You even did a quiz on this. So this should not be something new for you. Okay. Then step 2, explain why you chose this topic. You are going to deliver a video presentation. Okay. And in this presentation, you're going to make slides. And the slides will follow as you are explaining what this research is about, why you chose this topic, and how will this inform. So your introduction will start here. Explain to us why you chose that particular research paper. So why did you choose this topic? What is the topic? Name the issue or the subject of your research paper clearly. Why is this important in your major? Connect the topic to your field. As I said to you, why is it important? Next thing, why did you choose it personally? What is it about that paper that informs your personal interest? Okay, share a brief, genuine reason, curiosity, relevance, personal connection. And you're going to put this in your introduction, 30 seconds through slides. Okay, so exactly like what I'm doing right now. I have my slides, you see them, you're going to be talking and showing your slides while you do the presentation. It will be over Zoom. Then step 3, you have to annotate the research article. You need to look at the abstract, the introduction, and the discussion. You're asking me, what does annotating mean? We did annotation in the first 2 weeks of your class. It is looking at a paper, and what you do is you find what is the wording, what is the main idea, what are the words, what is it trying to tell me? How do I know what type of method was used? Oh, it says here it surveyed 5,000 people, so that has to be qualitative research. It's a way for me to show that you actually read the paper and that you have actually an interest in it. So it's going to be on a piece of paper, or in a on your Word document, long Word document where you annotate it. Okay, you can do it through PDF, or you can do it just on a Word document. That is totally fine, as long as you can demonstrate that you have annotated parts of your paper. So what is annotation? You highlight the key ideas, you write questions, you summarize in your words, you mark important findings. Like I said, you don't know what type of research they use, what type of methods. You read through it, you make a note next to it. Okay, quantitative research. Or no, they did only interviews with 5 people. That's qualitative research. All right. You look at the findings, what was the outcome? You look at the introduction, you look at what is the question of the research, okay? Where did it happen? What are the significant findings that inform you about a particular population? You make those notes on the paper. This is what annotation. So you print the paper and you annotate, you highlight, you show key concepts, okay? And then you can either take a picture of it and send it to me, or you can directly upload it, okay? The 3 sections to annotate. You need to annotate the abstract, the introduction, and the discussion. What is an abstract? Look at it, tell me, okay? Where is the research question? What methods were used and the main findings? That's all about the abstract. Then you look at the introduction. What is it? Okay? Why the study was done? Look for the problem, which is the hypothesis. And why does this topic matter? Then you look at the discussion part. Okay? Look for key conclusions. Remember, you also want to look at limitations of the study and the implication of the studies. So you're asking me, if you have the paper, you have to annotate. What should you annotate? Abstract, introduction, discussion. Then you're going to start building your presentation. This is the fun part. You have to use PowerPoint slides. You can use Google Slides and PowerPoint slides. You're going to build your presentation. And this is meant to also test your speaking. It means to test your argument structure. It means to see whether you actually can explain the findings that you discovered through the research paper. All right. So in your presentation structure, one of the slides, you look at introduction. What is your topic? Why does it matter in your major? What research paper did you choose? That's all part of the introduction. It should only be 30 seconds long. Then you look at body paragraph. This is a lot longer. What are the key findings from the abstract? What are the key ideas from the introduction? And if you look at the conclusion from the discussion, what are the key findings? What were the limitations? Okay. And then you have your conclusion. You summarize your 3 points. Why does this matter in your field? What does it mean for you as a student? Okay. When you're developing each body point, use the peel to speak about each of your research findings, right? You point, you show evidence, you explain the analysis and the link, all right? Again, you use the peel. So when you speak in your presentation, right, you're going to record it. Look at what I'm doing right now. You point, okay, state one clear research finding, give support for that data, which is in evidence. Then you're going to look at the analysis, explain what the findings means, and then you link it, connect it back to the major thesis of the entire research paper, okay? Then your slides, what to put on them and what not to put on them, okay? Use short title per slide. You don't, so one of the things that I want to say is that with slides, you don't want to crowd them. They need to be easy on the eye, okay? They need to be very easy on the eye. You use 3 to 5 bullet points maximum. You include keywords, not full sentences. You add the name of your research paper on the slide. What is the name of it? Who were the authors of it? Okay. All right. Um, you use clean, readable font size. So something that is very clear, it's legible. Somebody that looks at your slide for the first time, they're able to see exactly where you are. Sorry, where you are when you are explaining the concepts. What you don't want on your slide, you don't want to copy and paste text. I don't want that. That's plagiarism, okay? And also, it's boring. Nobody looks at a slide and they see massive paragraphs, okay? You don't want to write full paragraphs in the slides. You cannot use AI to write your speaking script. Come on, it's your research. I'm looking at you. I'm interested in you. I know your ability to speaking. Have confidence in it. You do not need AI to write out your script. Do not read directly from your slides. Use more than 6 slides in total, okay? 6 slides. So you have a cover slide, then you have the name of your research paper, then you look at the 3 points, right? You look at the abstract, the introduction, and the discussion, right? And you do the peel method as well. So when you're recording, speak very clearly and at a natural pace. Do not rush it, okay? Don't freak out. Basically, that's what I'm saying. Don't freak out and try to rush. Look at how I'm doing it right now, okay? You know this work, you've done it. Take time checking your research paper, make sure you fully understand it, and then once you've put everything together, then you record, okay? Use signaling words. We've done this before, transition words, such as my first point, the introduction, my second point. Do not read from a script because then I can hear when you are reading. Try to be as natural as possible. And remember, once you have the information on the slide, it's right there with you. All right. So you do not need to read. All right. You don't need to read. Start with a strong opening. Okay. We've done hooks before. Start with a strong opening. You want to attract your reader. Okay. Remember, with a hook, you can even start with something. You can even start with something like an antidote, so an anecdote. You can start with a quote, okay, a statistical data. So shock your listeners, okay? And record yourself once just to practice before, and then you record your final version, which you're going to submit to me, okay? Right, let me just move along. How will you be graded? There is a rubric I'm going to use. You're going to look at the research understanding. So obviously through your slides and through your recording, I will be able to see whether you actually understand what you're doing. You're going to look at presentation organization. Is your presentation clear? Is it neat and tidy? It is not wordy. It doesn't have a tons of things on there. Does it have a clear introduction, 3 points, and a conclusion? Okay. I'm going to look at your presentation skills, how you raise your voice. Okay. Can your audience understand you? Are you speaking naturally and confidently? Okay. And also, preparation. Did you annotate the article, fill in a Google form, and practice? Okay. That's also part of your preparation. So the first step is obviously finding the research paper. You cannot run away from that. You cannot make a PowerPoint slide. You cannot do anything until you first find your research paper. Where do you go? As I mentioned before, where do you go? These are the places you go to find your research paper. You can go to JSTOR, you can go to ProQuest, you can go to Google Scholar, or, all of them have copious of research. Find a research that's not too complex so that you can understand, okay, the data. You can understand, you can apply the data. So start very primitive, all right? And then you start annotating. That's part of your submission, plus your recording. So on May 6th is the deadline, okay? You're going to submit your research, your recording, And you're going to submit your annotation and you're going to fill out a Google form that says what is your research, what paper will you use, all of that. And then that will be part of your research project for this term, right? This project is 30%. You don't want to mess around. You want to take this opportunity. A lot of you are doing incredibly well. Your grades are looking really healthy. And some of you need to really pull up and start working. You do not want to miss out on this opportunity. On Tuesday, I will be online from 8 a.m. until 10 to answer your questions, to work through with you so that you are ready for your research paper. All right. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you all on Tuesday.